Good evening. I'm here in Washington, D.C. I'm just east of the White House, which you can see through the fence here. Now, normally you can get a much better view of the White House, but unfortunately, and I've said this so many times recently, there is construction on Pennsylvania Avenue, and so there are fences in front of the main fence, so you can't really get a good view of the White House. And I just had a nice chat with a Secret Service agent who said, yeah, the construction, it's annoying for them too. They wish the construction would be over. It's actually deconstruction from the inauguration, from the parade that didn't happen. I know I've been talking about this for 3 or 4 months now, this construction. But they have a chain link fence in front of the area where you can normally take a good picture. So while this is Pennsylvania Avenue here, and you can walk, but this is probably the best place to get a view of the White House. Now, right next door to the White House, strategically placed here by Mr. Alexander Hamilton himself, is the Department of the Treasury. So if you remember your musical or your history, your musical Hamilton or your history, you remember that Virginia got the capital, but Hamilton wanted the banks. And so when Virginia and New York were fighting over where the nation's capital would be, he said, give them the capital, I'll take the banks. And so our financial capital is New York City. Technically, however, Hamilton is wrong, the play, because it wasn't Virginia that got the nation's capital, it was Maryland. Washington, D.C., the original Washington, D.C., as it was planned by Pierre L'Enfant, was carved 2/3 out of the state of Maryland and 1/3 out of the state of Virginia, and that third was Alexandria. And Alexandria, Virginia, after a short time, decided to go back to Virginia. They didn't want to be part of the nation's capital. So what remains of Washington, D.C. today are 2 components of the original 3. The city of Washington and the old city of Georgetown, both of which belonged to the state of Maryland and not Virginia. Hi, Ben. How you doing? Hello, Naveed. Is this Washington? It is. This is the Treasury building. We're right next door to the White House. No, not College Park. Oh my gosh. But I went to school in College Park. That's the Treasury building. This is the White House here. Unfortunately, I can't get to the best. You can get right out front, but there's a fence still there from the construction that I've been talking about for the last few weeks. So while you can walk in front of it, and all these folks are walking up there, there's really no place to get a view from this is the front door. Yes, Trump lives here. Front door of the White House is on Pennsylvania Avenue. We're going to walk around, though, to the back door and see if we can get a better view. But this is the Treasury building, and this statue is Alexander Hamilton. No, I lie. This is Albert Gallatin. Oh, smack me. This is not Alexander Hamilton. This is Albert Gallatin. Boy, I should be hit. But this is the Treasury Department. Alexander Hamilton is on the other side. Sorry about that. My history is a little faulty today. But yeah, this is the Treasury building. And obviously, Hamilton and the others, founders, wanted this, Treasury right next door to the White House. It is the department at the closest proximity to the White House. For good reason. Controls the money. YMCA. YMCA. Yay. Yeah, Ben, I'm doing well. United States Department of the Treasury building is on the National Register of Historic Places. And I do have to be careful because now that they've put all these QR codes everywhere, while I'm filming, my camera will pick up on all the QR codes. They have, all kinds of historical information. But yeah, that's our Treasury Department building. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, Romanesque, super duper. The other side underwent a renovation recently. I don't know about this side, but it looks nice. And right across is the Milken Center. This is also a historic, everywhere. You can't go anywhere without a historic building. This also has a very banky flavor to it. Looks like a lot of our financial institutions, but the Milken Institute, I think it's one of those think tanks. And let's see, if you look there, you can see it's under renovation as well. It is actually, it's so good to see so much construction. The more construction, the better, the better the economy of the area is. So that's really cool. This one on the corner here, I have filmed this before, and I can't recall the name and I can't read it. I know it's Truist Bank now. But this one on the corner, I'm going to stop for a minute and let you get a really good view of this beautiful building. Right? This has to be like 1870s, 1880s here. And at the top, that dome, it is a gold leaf dome. So in the sunlight, it is fantastic. You're filming like a TV cameraman. I have no skills, but I know my history. And we're going to take a walk around the block and see if we can get a view of the south side of the White House. Again, it's over there. It's just over that fence. But from Pennsylvania Avenue, the front door of the White House, we can't get a good view right now. They are so close to removing the fences from some construction that had to do with the inaugural parade that actually didn't happen because it was so freaking cold outside. Across the way here, this is one of those places where, all the, oops, that was a hole. All the important people in Washington, they go to eat at the old Ebbett Grill. It's one of those places. I've been there, and you know what? The food was so-so. For as expensive as it wasn't all that. We've also showcased, we've also, feel like I'm a salesman, these restored call boxes all around Washington, D.C., the fire boxes and the police call boxes all over the town, which is fantastic. This is a great bit of preservation. So this one is commemorating inaugural parades here on the way to the White House. And the artwork here, it has definitely seen its better days. But you know what? I love filming in street light at night. I love being in the city at night, and I love the lights. We had a torrential downpour. Well, thank you, Naveed. I appreciate that. We had a torrential downpour today, and there are more storms to come. So this will be a relatively short video, a short stream. I'm just going to work my way around the block, showcase a little bit more architecture at night, and then wrap it up before the next storm comes. Now, here we go. More construction. This building here, this is a nice example of, I think we'd call this Second Empire. And the way you know is the roof line. It's called a mansard roof. And most of them have either like wrought iron railings in front of the windows or concrete railings. This one has a combination. And it also, the rounded windows, kind of a combo of Second Empire and I think— but this next building, you're really going to see the artistic influence. And I'm gonna say, I'm still learning about all these styles, by the way. I'm gonna say there's gonna be Romanesque here on this building. And this is here, I'm walking next to the Treasury building, the main Treasury building, with construction, of course. But this beauty over here, and there's a rooftop restaurant up here. This is, I believe this is part of the Willard Hotel. And if it's not, it's right next door, because the Willard is right on the other side. But when I get a place to stop, I'm gonna take a minute and just take a look at the artwork around the windows on this building. And I'm sorry for bopping when I walk. I'm trying to walk kind of quickly before the storm comes in. So if you take a look above the doorway and take a real good look around the windows, and you'll see that's all concrete work, right? It's painted concrete and perhaps some painted plaster, but that just doesn't seem like it would last around those windows. Is this southeastern India? No, this is Washington, D.C. And there's the Washington Monument just peeking around the corner. We took a look at the front of the White House, barely, through fences. And take a look up at the roof line there. I'll try to stay really still. And you can see so much detail around the windows. And there's the Washington Monument right there. I'm so glad you're all joining me for this little impromptu tour. Yeah, it poured down rain, but when the rain stopped, I wanted to get outside. Now, across the street here, and this is the convergence of like Pennsylvania Avenue, New York Avenue on 15th Street. That is the World War I Memorial Plaza. I'm not going to go over there. I will go over there someday. We'll do a live tour there. I like to go over there when I'm in the right frame of mind in order to be super respectful whenever we're at the war memorials. And this one, although some are interesting at night, the World War I Memorial is best during the day because the bronze sculptures. Thank you, Naveed. The bronze sculptures are really amazing during the day with some sunlight. So this is a really nice shot. Our nation's capital was designed to bring unity architecturally from the Capitol, which you can see there at the end of Pennsylvania Avenue, to the White House, which is back here. You can't see it from this angle. And then beyond the Capitol is the Supreme Court. So the three branches of our government, the Supreme Court is the judiciary branch, the Capitol is the legislative, and behind me, the White House is the executive branch. Pennsylvania Avenue connects all of them. And there are so many places to get a good view. The L'Enfant Plan was then expanded later in the 1970s with the Macmillan Plan. And the idea there was to make sure that as the buildings rose in height, not too high, that there would always be views and vistas between the important monuments in Washington, D.C. Just in front of the Capitol, that tall tower on the right, that's the post office tower. That's absolutely stunning during the day. And then this is the Willard Hotel. And I'm gonna stay there one day. It costs a pretty penny, but I'm gonna stay there one day. Let's walk a little further down this way, and then we'll make our way to see if we can get a view from the south side of the White House. And we should be able to. all these gates and guards and such, that's for cars. People in Washington, D.C. generally have access to the Capitol, the White House, the Supreme Court. I've walked in live streams right up the steps of all of the Supreme Court and the Capitol, not the White. You can't walk up the steps of the White House, but you can get a really good view of the White House when there's not construction. So we'll keep heading toward the Washington Monument. And this is 15th Street. And we're in the part of Washington called Northwest Washington. Washington is divided into quadrants: northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. The streets that run north to south, for the most part, are numbered. The streets that run east to west, for the most part, are letters. Except there's no J Street, and there's a whole story about that. Why there's no J Street. And then the long boulevards that connect different parts of the city, some of which are diagonal, some of which cross through traffic circles. Those are, for the most part, named after states. So I spend a lot of time, if you see my videos, on Massachusetts Avenue. So you'll hear me talk about Massachusetts Avenue. There's New York Avenue, North Carolina, Maryland, Nebraska, up in Northeast. Now look, I'm just walking, here I go. I'm just walking down the south side of the White House. Because we can here. Because things are open here. And pretty soon we will get a really good view. I'll pause here. Number one, because I know I walk too fast. And for that I do apologize. But there's a nice view of the Washington Monument there. And then we can look back on the Willard Hotel here. And here's a nice view of the other side of the Treasury building, which we took a look at from the north. So now we're on the south, and you've heard talk of the south lawn of the White House, where there are all kinds of receptions and gatherings. And I have played softball here in a softball league many years ago. We played at the White House, and it was pretty cool. All right, we're almost there, and we're here on time. So one time I was here, and it was very late after a really long day of work, and I parked, and it was beautiful, crystal clear night, moon, everything, and then all the lights went off at 11 o'clock. So now I know the lights go off at 11 o'clock. So I try to get here earlier. Daryl! Hey, the rain stopped. I'm trying to do a quick live stream. Look at those clouds. I hope you all think it's as beautiful as I do. And I'm waiting for the next storm. So we're making a big walk around the White House, and hopefully we'll miss the raindrops when the next storm comes in. So we started out on Pennsylvania Avenue, looking at the White House from north to south. Sadly, I keep saying this, there are still construction fences around one part of the front of the White House. I had a nice chat with a Secret Service agent, and I said, when are these things going away? And he's like, dude, we want these things out of here. They prefer not to have the fences up either. So I walked all the way around the Treasury building, and now I'm coming to the back side of the White House, And let me Wait for this car. Because, frankly, staffers don't care. They will run you over. All right, let's take another little peek at the Washington Monument. So nice tonight. Yeah, it's about 50. I don't know. It's got to be more than 50 degrees. It's got to be 55. It is not cold. Okay, I'm going to snap a picture here. So the stream's going to go quiet just for a second while I snap. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for waiting. And now, no pedestrians beyond this point. Oh, man. They're going to make me get on the other sidewalk. Okay. I want to walk in the street. DC is so all about pedestrians. I know it's for our safety. But this late at night, well, there are cars. We just saw one. Okay. Well, we'll come up here. We won't walk in the street. And there's our view of the south entrance of the White House. The north view is so much better when there's not a fence up. Because here you do have the fence is close. The slats on this fence are closer together. And yeah, I'll try to do that. So yeah, you can't really get a clear view here. 58 right now. Nice. From the north side, I can actually put my phone through those slats and take a photo. But I can't do that here because they don't allow you to walk in the street because they don't want you to get hit, which I guess is good. So that's all fine. So Secret Service agents get to walk down the street, but we don't. But that's okay. All right, I'm gonna unzoom this, take it back to where it was. That's so pretty. All right, I'm gonna try to take another photo. So again, please bear with me. The stream is gonna freeze just for a second. I don't know.
You don't know.
It's not like in England where if the king is in, they fly the standard over the White House. Yeah, no, here they don't do that here. And I don't know why it's at half mast either.
Was it Jimmy Carter?
No, that ended at the end of January. So I don't know why it's at half mast. There must be another reason. We'll have to find out. The Norths, do you live here? Are you visiting?
No, visiting.
Is this your first time like here in this area?
Many years, like 5-10 years ago.
So the fence the slats used to be a little wider. You could get a better view. On the north side is the best view on Pennsylvania Avenue. But right now they still have a fence up from the inaugural parade. So you can't, yeah, they're still, and I talked to the Secret Service agent tonight and he said they hope it'll be down soon. But that thing went up in November and I come down here every once in a while to try to get photos and I'm like, it's still there. It's still there. But this is still a nice view.
Yeah, I remember this fence used to not be here. I remember being able to see straight through.
Oh, yeah, years and years ago. I used to play softball right there. Used to have a softball league that played right there behind. And yeah, you're right.
I don't remember this fountain here either.
The fountain's always been here, at least as long as I've known. I've known the fountain to be here. But yeah, it's hard to... I remember the fence with wider slat, like you could see through. Yes. On the other side, you can stick your camera through.
Yeah.
And get a photo, except for the construction that's going on right now.
The people who stand outside and talk on the news, where do they do that from?
They get inside. Like if they're in the press corps, they get to be on the lawn. Yeah, so you'll see them there. But yeah,
How far it is from here to the Capitol building?
it's not far at all. If you walk right there so on the corner here. this hotel is the Willard Hotel, and that plaza is the World War I Memorial. If you look that way, down Pennsylvania, you'll see the Capitol. As soon as you...
Oh, so that's not... Oh,
That's the Washington Monument.
And then that's the Jefferson Memorial?
And the Jefferson Memorial. Oh, yeah, the Jefferson. Looks good.
Yeah. Okay,
And so if you just...
Capitol is over there. I thought they were all in a line on...
They are,
Is this
but
the
this
mall?
street runs diagonal. So this is the mall. So the mall does run straight to the Capitol, but Pennsylvania Avenue runs diagonal and connects the Supreme Court, the Capitol, and the White House. It's the street that connects them all.
Oh.
So, right. So just when you get to this intersection here, you'll see it right in front of you.
Okay.
And you can walk straight that way. It's a 10-minute walk. You can walk there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to run around tomorrow.
I think you should. I think you should. Well, I hope you have a great time.
Thank you.
Enjoy your visit. Okay, as you can tell, I enjoy meeting visitors and sharing my love for this great city. Now, here's one more little thing. Here, right here, directly south of the White House. So do you see this marker right here? This is technically, the geographic, well, it's not the geographic. It's the center of Washington, D.C. All distances from Washington, D.C. are measured from this marker. It's not the map center of Washington, D.C., though, because the map center is North Capitol Street is the divider between like 1st Street to the west and 1st Street to the east. And then Constitution and Pennsylvania Avenue are sort of the middle lines, but this is where all distances from Washington, D.C. are measured. So if you put in your GPS, your Google map or what have you, Washington, D.C., it's going to measure the distance from this marker right here. And as you can see, it is perfectly aligned to the White House. Oh, Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, even though Pearl Harbor was on December 7th. Interesting. And the life of Senator Bob Dole. Daryl, thank you for looking that up. That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic information. Now, I'm gonna just walk over here a little bit and then end the stream. I just want to share a view of the old executive office building. And this is a good view here. That's a really good view here. So next door, the old executive office building, which used to be considered the office of the vice president. There's a lot that goes on in that building. Years ago, I went there to pick up a proclamation. You know, sometimes you can ask for proclamations to be signed by presidents and other important people. And I worked with someone who worked 50 years for the federal government, and we got a proclamation signed for her. So I came here to pick it up. And that's the old executive office building. And then there again is a really nice view of the Washington Monument. It is very quiet here. And part of that is because the buildings here in Washington are not very tall. They're all lower than, I think, they have to be lower than the post office tower that I showed you earlier. And definitely not as tall as the Washington Monument, but nothing comes close. And there's a lot of open space and a lot of green space. So even when the traffic is bad, it's not loud here. So it's great for walking around at night. And as you know, from the amount of times that I stream at this time of night, I love it. And I love walking around at night. I love working here. I'm so lucky to be able to work here. And I always look forward to these kinds of evenings. So I hope everyone has a fantastic night. If you're not doing anything after this stream, I wonder if I can send you all over to Nerd Takes. Nerd Takes is streaming Spider-Man right now. So if you don't subscribe to his channel, please check him out. I don't think I can send people from a live stream. I'm gonna have to try to click on a bunch of these buttons and see what happens. Throw it back. Hi, Logan. Hello, Logan. Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't think I can end the stream and like send a raid over. Ben, I hope you have a great night. I'm gonna go back here and get this nice view. And I hope to see you all next time. Take care, everyone. Be safe. And bye-bye.